Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever you are. Welcome back to the Host Advantage podcast, where I'm once again joined by John,
Yo.
and I'm Chris, and we've got some news. We got a tech demo from Halo Infinite that came out recently, and we wanted to talk about it today.
Yeah.
So they showed off a lot of gameplay, showed off a lot of new features, stuff that's going to be in there. First off, though, the graphics are a lot better.
hmm
So that's a huge plus, and I feel after they showed off the demo, you kind of realize how much more work they need to put into this game, which is crazy because it was supposed to come out last year.
Wow.
And I'm thinking the graphics are probably a lot to do with that, but they've definitely put a lot of work into it, and they've added a lot of new features that are small details that I think will amount to a lot.
hmm
Like, for instance, you can actually see footsteps in the mud, and even when you're running up a wall, you can see the footprint of a
Oh
Spartan.
wow, I didn't even notice that. I like that
Yeah,
attention to detail.
yeah. So there's like a bit of tracking involved, if to the keen eye. I
hmm
think it's pretty neat. Um, we have a lot of new weapons. Halo's
hmm
always big on weapons. Reoccurring weapons, the pistol and the assault rifle, which look and feel a lot better this time around.
hmm
And other weapons that I'm a little bit skeptical of. We have the Commando, which looks overpowered as hell,
That's
which
like
is
the
based
rapid fire.
DMR.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Even like the Needler looks a lot stronger in this game. I'm a little concerned.
they'll patch it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I feel like there's still plenty to do. They also incorporated the Heat Wave, which is the new weapon, which
Oh.
has like an alternate fire, which is the best way I can describe it is like the plasma cutter in Dead
Oh
Space,
right, right,
how you
right.
can have like a vertical fire and a horizontal fire.
hmm
And it's also kind of like Hanzo's scatter arrows, where it'll ricochet off of corners.
Okay. Almost
But
like the scatter shot from a previous Halo game.
yes, that actually is a better representation given what we're talking about. But it looks pretty awful, actually. Seeing some of they have like a training range that they introduced to like show off the weapons, and for the people who were lucky enough to be able to join this, you can actually kind of have test dummies run around, and you can fire and test your abilities.
I like
And
that.
yeah, it's really neat. It looks really cool. It's pretty basic. It's clean, but yeah, that heat wave gun looks pretty bad. But we'll see how it goes
I
in
hope
practice.
I hope that test range is available while we're searching for matches, kind of like how Overwatch has the practice range, just
That
as a
that'd
way
be
to
fun.
kill some time and have some fun while you're searching for games. Not that there's
Or
going to be any lack of games out there to join.
I was about to say, better yet, we could just join a game right away because there's gonna be
Yeah,
so many people.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
But if it's like Halo 5 where you join and it has to load for like 45 seconds, that'd be cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, while we're on the topic of guns, I did write down the newest editions. And one thing I need to give credit to the 343 for their naming convention because their guns they just sound fucking cool.
Hmm.
And so I have a list of the newest ones: the Sidekick pistol, the Bulldog shotgun, the Commando tactical rifle, the one that you mentioned, the Pulse carbine, the Mangler, the
Mangler, good one.
Ravager, the Scrap cannon, shock rifle, the Skewer, which I'm really excited for.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of
I
fun.
really wanted that to be called the Javelin for some reason. It's so fucking cool, and it reminds me.
Hmm.
I think probably because in Dead Space they had a gun that's just like it, where it's like a high powered giant javelin that you fire and it pins people to the wall and whatnot. The Stalker rifle and the I already said the Scrap cannon, but yeah, they have a nice lineup of new guns that seem really fun.
Mm. Yeah, it's always kind of exciting. Kind of reminds me of like Ratchet and Clank, where they just kind of go nuts with some of the weapon customization and like the abilities. And I I'm really excited because from what I've seen in the gameplay, the the gunplay actually looks really good. Like every weapon feels like your base weapons. For instance, you have the assault rifle and the pistol. Like both of those feel really useful because like normally whenever I'd play Halo, I just switch immediately to the pistol because I have a little bit more precision.
Hmm.
But I feel like they toned down the recoil a lot for some of the stuff, and it kind of feels more like it's arcade arena multiplayer game like it used to.
Hmm.
Because a lot of games nowadays are very embedded in reality. So the recoil goes crazy. Like it's hard to shoot things at a distance. But even with like the assault rifle, um, things feel a little bit more harnessed, not as like out of control when it comes to firing.
Sure.
So I'm really excited for this stuff.
Hmm.
Uh, and I feel like there's a lot more fan service in this game too. I feel like with the name Infinite, it's kind of culminating and paying homage to its like Combat Evolved era,
Yeah.
or like even like a lot of the sound design. You can hear like a lot of like the old like
The
recharge
shield. Yep.
shield noise. Even I feel like they got rid of that one rocket launcher that was kind of like a single shot barrel, and they
Yeah.
just made it like the OG like huge like
Two
three
barrel.
cannoned
Yeah.
RPG. Yeah, which I'm all for it. I know it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of everything, but it reminds me just of my childhood.
Yeah, I don't know if it's supposed to be called Spunker or Spanker. I don't know if it's just SPNKR, but it's something along those lines.
Yeah, I avoided saying that because I wasn't sure which one it was.
I don't know either. Whatever. The rocket launcher, you know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
Um, so, jumping into a controversial topic.
Oh,
Uh,
do tell.
uh, so, sprinting. Do you
Very.
think that it is essential for Halo to stick with its roots and not have sprinting, or do you think it's a good idea to keep sprinting and sort of roll with the punches and do what all the other games are doing? Because I can see why they'd want to revert back, because it's like, oh, that's Halo, that's its thing. But with sprinting, like I really enjoy it in Halo 5. I think it's nice, but now that they're taking it out, and I mean, for all that's as of August. We don't know if they're gonna put it in on like certain game modes or if it's out completely from the game. What do you think?
So I'm totally fine with sprinting. I feel like when people try and compare it to COD, that's a little silly because a lot of games have sprinting.
Hmm.
Um, I embrace it, even though it's not a part of the OG Halos. It keeps things a little bit more fresh and it keeps it fast paced.
Right.
So I feel like they toned down the sprinting a little bit from what I've seen compared to what we've had before. So I think they're trying to balance it out and make a little bit of everybody happy.
Hmm.
But I know for a fact that they got rid of the thruster pack.
That I will not forgive.
I liked it a lot. I'm
I
kind of surprised they got rid of it.
if they wanted to get okay, if they wanted to get rid of the thruster pack, or at least some portion of it, I think they should have taken out the Spartan charge and maybe the Starfall, whatever, or the ground pound, whatever it's called.
Hmm.
But keep the dash in, because that is response. It's like the extra oomph that you need to make a sick play. Like, oh, you just juked somebody with the dash, or oh, you just jumped out of this grenade's blast radius with the dash, and it was so cool. Or oh, you just barely grabbed onto this ledge because of the dash. But now it's like you can't do that movement anymore.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. It was so smooth.
Yeah, I did too. And it kind of like it made you feel like, oh, I need to react quickly. I'm getting shot at,
Yeah.
like go into cover. It felt like it added a little bit more of a dynamic feel
Yeah.
to it. And I didn't think it was overdone. Like you could argue that the bash was,
Oh
that one
yeah.
hit kill kind of stinks,
Yeah.
and you're not at fault for feeling that way. But yeah, I was really surprised because I felt like going from Halo 4, where they had the kind of reach class system, where you
Hmm.
had like the Promethean vision, you had the thruster, the jetpack, whatever it was, to Halo 5, where it felt more well balanced and everybody had the same equipment. There was no debating that. Everything was more on a level playing field. It
Right.
was just you, your guns, and your skill level.
Hmm.
And then we just get rid of that altogether in substitution of the equipment, which Halo Infinite has a lot of devices you can use now, which I'm pretty happy about because it reminds me more of like the Halo 3 days where you had the bubble shield and the grav
Yep.
lift and the regen.
I wish they have armor lock.
Uh,
But that's a different
but
story.
yeah, so I think they did something really smart by kind of marrying the two, having those abilities, but making them equipment items to use when you want to.
Right.
So instead of choosing a class that has armor lock, for instance, I know armor lock's not in the game, but you have a pick upable that you can use it like 2 times. The
Hmm.
grappling hook's the best example of this.
Right.
Seeing the original trailer, I kind of figured that was like embedded in the armor. That was going to be a staple, like the thruster pack was.
Yeah.
But it's an item that you can choose or pick up, and you have 2 uses out of it, and then it's gone.
Interesting.
Hmm.
So you got to use it wisely. And that's another
Yeah.
thing when it comes to movement is maybe they took out the thrusters in substitution for the grappling hook.
Yeah, I think so. And it also makes sliding a little bit more useful now
Hmm.
because I feel like that was really underused in Halo 5 because why would you use it when you can just dash?
Yeah.
But in this one, I feel like they kind of made it a little bit longer of a slide
Hmm.
so that way you can actually utilize some gunplay while you're sliding.
Right.
And they with the equipment, they also made it so that when you pick up stuff like the overshield or the cloaking, you can use it whenever you choose.
Yeah.
So instead of just picking it up and having it used automatically and then you're cloaked for a minute, you can choose after you pick it up when to activate it, which I really like as
Cool.
well. A little bit more strategic use, and you kind of use that time a little bit more valuably.
Hmm. Yeah, that grappling hook. I didn't see any gameplay. I tried to watch as much gameplay as possible, but I didn't see anyone use it for uh like movement. It was always to bring things to them. It wasn't like to pull them to something.
Yeah,
So is that I don't know if that's like if you can use it to, get on top of a building or if it's just for pulling a rocket launcher to you. So anything you can say to that?
you can use it a la Spider-Man,
Okay.
but it's I've noticed in some of the gameplay that it's not completely broken because if you were to extend your arm out and launch the grapple, depending on if it like latches onto something, you'll kind of like and you'll like recoil your hand, meaning that
Uh-huh.
you can't use it on that area, but you didn't waste one of your turns with it.
Gotcha.
So you can try it on something, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then you try it on another thing, and then it'll latch on, and you'll fling yourself towards it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I imagine they're trying to mitigate a lot of getting in areas you're not supposed to be, or like
Hmm.
falling out of bounds off the map.
Or hitching a ride on someone's warthog. That seems like it could be OP if you can just hop on and
That they've never actually shown. That would be rad. You
yeah,
just kind of like,
just hop in the passenger seat and punch out the driver.
I mean, they showed you latch onto a Hornet and then you skyjack
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I'd say it's possible. It'll be
I just
interesting how
wonder,
that's balanced.
yeah, I wonder what the correlation of speed is. If a Warthog's going full speed and you latch onto it, do you follow it or do you go faster?
You
And
just get dragged along the road. That'd be fun.
Mhm. They didn't show off any new vehicles really. The chopper's back,
Mm.
which made me very happy because I love the chopper. But the maps that they showed off, I think there were 2 or 3 of them, 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
They look good. Bazaar in particular was kind of a standout for me. It was more of like the outdoor. It had like a lot of layers to it, where you a lot of elevations.
Mhm.
So good for grappling, good for kind of clambering on and reaching higher altitudes. Um, the lighting looks really good too. There's a lot of people have noticed nice details like secret vents that you crawl through, and then when you drop down, you like break the vent from the ceiling down, so you can
Hmm.
kind of see like, oh, somebody's been here already.
Gotcha. Cool.
Mhm. Um, I think they're trying to utilize a lot of the equipment variations in the maps, which is always good because nothing sucks more than when you have like an equipment option and it's just useless
Hmm.
all around. So having something that has um, kind of levels to reach.
So moving on to controversial topic number two.
Mhm.
I am so sick of people saying that they hate that Halo's going to have BR. If you want to stay current and if you want to butt heads and compete with other AAA titles, you gotta stay fresh. And one of the most fresh things right now is Battle Royale. Like, that brings in a lot of money. It brings in a lot of viewership on Twitch and YouTube, wherever you're watching, because nobody really wants to watch just someone play multiplayer games. Like, it's unless it's like hardcore search and destroy and it's like esports or something, but no one's just going to watch you play team deathmatch. Like, there's nothing very exciting about that. But when there's like 100 people and it's the last man standing, that gets pretty intense. So I think I understand that it's like, oh, you're just hopping on a bandwagon. Halo wasn't meant for BR, and I get that. And I have a lot of questions there. Like, is a sniper going to be a one-hit headshot and you're done? Is there going to be a down but not out system? What kind of vehicles are they? Like, there's a lot of questions because Halo is strictly just like an arena multiplayer game and like not huge maps, unless you're talking like Blood Gulch. You know, like that's one of the biggest maps I can think of. Forge World. But yeah, I think if 343 is making the decision to give resources to a battle royale game mode, then I'm okay with it. If it's causing issues, like if multiplayer needs like desperate attention and it's clear that they're not giving it to a multiplayer and it's strictly going to battle royale, then it'll be an issue. But for now, we just have to wait and see.
So as of this moment, there has been no confirmation of a battle royale. But I mean, come on.
I mean,
There's
that
absolutely
leaked audio file of the multiplayer announcer saying battle royale, and I think it's gonna happen.
I do too, and if anybody cares about where I stand on this controversial topic, I'm for it because it's just a game type. If you don't like it, then you just don't play it. Like it's pretty simple. I agree that it is keeping with the times. I mean, Halo incorporated a zombies game type when zombie multiplayer was really hot too.
Yeah.
So I am curious though when you started bringing up all the stipulations like will a sniper headshot be a one-hit kill?
Yeah.
I think that if I were to hazard a guess, I feel like that this battle royale, if it does in fact have it, 343 is going to try and make it as fresh as possible
Yeah.
in the Halo universe. I don't feel like they can copy and paste a lot of other ideas because it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's going to be a revive system, yes, but
Right.
we don't know if there's going to be a currency system, for instance.
Mhm.
So we don't know if you're going to open up boxes and find money in there. It could be something totally different. It could be based on how many kills you get, for all we know. Like they can
Yeah.
do whatever they need to.
Yeah, making I believe making a battle royale is easy, but making a fun battle royale, like a fresh one, is very hard because the only elements that need to be there is huge map, closing circle, a lot of squad play, and that's pretty much it. Maybe a down but not out system. Some games don't even have that, but in order to keep it fresh and keep it fun, you have to add your own sort of twist to it. Like for Warzone example, there's the Gulag. That's a fucking awesome addition. And then there's contracts you can pick up. You can do you can try and hunt someone down, or you can get a most wanted contract, or you can do a recon contract, or like there's all kinds of stuff to keep the game fresh. You look at Apex, you got your revive banners, you have the market system, weapon upgrades. Like there's tons of ways that they keep it fresh in their own way. And so I'm hoping Halo, my boys at 343, please do something good to make this fresh, because you're dealing with Warzone, and they're like the top contender right now. Apex as well. They're probably button heads, but they got to keep it fresh. They got to make it really good.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like there's a lot of potential in this if they decide to incorporate it. And I've got faith that they're going to make something pretty fun. And like I said, if not, then we just won't play it.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Can you believe this shit was announced 3 years ago?
No.
It was announced at I believe it was E3 2018. I know it was 2018, but I don't know if it was at E3. I'm just assuming. But yeah, it was such a simple trailer. They barely showed anything, and it was just like, yeah, we're working on a Halo game. And it's been 3 years, and who knows how long it's been since before that trailer even came out that they were working on. I heard that it was been in the works for like 6 years now, and so
I believe it. You
yeah,
know, I feel like again, there's been a lot of mixing and matching of management in the past few years,
yeah,
and you know, making a game is kind of a miracle, and like having it release,
yeah,
it's a
especially during
whole
COVID.
thing. Yeah, obviously that didn't help anybody.
See
But
Cyberpunk 2077.
3 years though, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
That makes me feel like Matt Damon aging in Saving Private Ryan.
One thing I thought was kind of interesting is that they put out a technical playtest against AI after the game has been in development for 6 years and we're still facing AI. Like this couldn't have been done internally. I thought that was kind of interesting. Part of me thinks that it was just the studio throwing the fans a bone just so they have something to sort of play with until the game comes here. But
Hmm.
I thought it was interesting that they, after all this time, has made a technical playtest where you just face bots.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to what I was saying earlier about how it feels like this game was still really far out, and
Yeah.
it's crazy that it was supposed to be out last year. I know again there was a whole graphical change up, but
Mm.
it feels like it's still a lot more polish needs to be put into this game. But I mean, that's another thing too. The bots are actually going to be incorporated in the game. Like
Yeah.
this isn't just for the play test. Like they're actually going to be an option for you. If you don't want to play with other players, you can play with the bots.
I'm sure at
Which
like a smaller reward system, less credits
mhm,
if you play against them.
yeah, and I'm curious how that's going to be handled because a lot of the a lot of the funnier videos that have come out are just seeing all of the bots run and attack in unison and then all target one person and then run all together in a pack.
Brilliant.
So there's a bit of
Strength in numbers. A little
well
tweaking to
there
do.
yeah, there's a little tweaking because they're not the most clever AI right now. Again,
Mhm.
a lot more polish,
Yeah.
but they are also mentioning that they can be switched in difficulty. They're just like recruits, Marines, um, Spartans. They divvy them up in easy, medium, hard, and very hard mode.
Uh-huh.
So I'm curious to see how that goes. And I don't know if there's going to be, if I were to drop out in a multiplayer matchmaking, will a bot take my place?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too because Battlefield 2042 said they're gonna have bots autofill matches that aren't completely full.
Hmm.
I wonder if Halo will do the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, Battlefield I totally get because those are supposed to be like 32 on 32
Yeah.
or 64 on 64, whatever the astronomical number was. But we'll see. I'm really excited to see what they do. I'm pretty happy with everything they've showed us so far.
Hmm.
Like, there's not really anything that I'm like, I don't know about this. Like, I'm bummed that thrusting isn't back,
Yeah.
but the maps look good. The amount of customization in your Spartan looks really good.
I like that a
They're
lot.
yeah, they're gonna be following the trend. I don't know if Fortnite started it or what, but they're just gonna have like those battle passes
Hmm.
where they'll come out periodically. Once you get it, you have the entire armor set.
Yeah.
They specified, you know, they
That's like
have like
standard now.
Emil's, yeah, like Emil's armor and reach. If you get that, then you have the entire set at your disposal. And there's a lot of mixing and matching customizations, shoulder pads, gloves, kneecaps, chests, helmets, and then all the variations that they've mixed and matched in between.
Hmm.
And another new addition, talking about customization, they also added the a personalized AI for you. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah,
You
a
basically get
little
to
bit.
choose your own Cortana, which I actually really like.
I like it too.
Uh, in in thinking of creative ways for people to spend money on your product, having something like a little voice in your head that tells you like, "Ooh, that's gotta hurt," or "Kill confirmed." Like you can have that range of like sillier voice lines or more serious, like kind of militarized.
Mm.
And this doesn't take the place of like the regular Halo announcer that announces like the medals, like double kills, triple
Yeah.
kills, and all that. This is just another thing on top of that. So it'll tell you like when there's a weapon that just spawned, when somebody picked it up, when you did something more impressive, like an assassination, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Will this
fear the pink mist for the Needler.
will this be heard by your teammates? Do you know?
Just you.
Just you? Okay. Thank God.
Mhm.
Because if someone's got like some fucking clown voice and they're like, "Whoa, that was a close one," I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I
Yeah.
would hate to have God, that shit where it's like so circusy and so kid like, where it's just like pink battle rifles and like sparkles coming out of your head. Like I don't want that. Keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
I'm glad the voice is just to the player and not something I can hear because
Hmm.
it would get bad. But
Yeah.
it would be
It's
kind of cool, like if, like, oh, I always when I hear like this voice, I know Chris is behind me, or if I hear this voice, I know Grant's coming up. Like, I like that kind of thing, but if it's gonna be like goofy, I would hate that.
yeah. No, it's like the best way you can describe it is just Cortana in your head.
Yeah.
So each Spartan customizes. They really are pushing like we want this to be your character,
Hmm.
down to all the cosmetic changes. And I like that this feels a little bit more involved as opposed to like Reach when they're like, oh, you can make your Spartans stinky and give them gas
Ah,
fumes around them.
pestilence! Yay!
Yeah, like oh, there's a lightning. Like that's kind of weird. I never
Yeah,
really liked that, and it really points you out like a sore thumb
yeah, I
in the
didn't like it
battlefield.
either.
And I haven't seen anything in the terms of like confetti come out of your body or hearts.
Yeah,
So I like having this personalized AI just kind of talk to you and hype you up.
yeah, I like that. They had that. They have that in Titanfall, which is really cool. You can choose if you
Hmm.
want like the leader of the IMC or like some robotic dude to talk to you. Especially when you get different Titans, they have different voices, and the Scorch voice is just like pouring honey in my ear. Is perfect. I love it.
Honey in your ears.
Honey in my ear. I love it. um, controversial topic number 3, and I hate that we have to talk about it for any game coming out. Delay.
So we're in August right now,
Yeah,
and it says holiday 2021.
it's 4 months.
I think it's going to be delayed.
I I don't know. I honestly don't know because it's not only 343, it's Microsoft. Like
Yeah.
this is their crown and jewels. Like this is their baby.
Hmm.
And I haven't heard anything about um like crunching. I haven't heard that topic come up when it comes to development of Halo. So I don't really know where they are. I just
Hmm.
hope it's not going to turn into some big fucking controversy like Cyberpunk did, and because that would suck for Halo, that would suck for Microsoft, that would suck for 343.
Yeah, especially since this is their golden egg. Like if something happens with Halo, everybody hears about it because it's so embedded in Microsoft.
Yeah,
Like it is their child. So I think so I feel like it'll be delayed. But if it's not, great. I I think it was smart for them to take an entire year though, as opposed to say Cyberpunk. Oh, we're gonna delay it 3 months. 2 months rolls by. Oh, we need to delay it another month. Oh, we need to delay it 2 more weeks. Like I felt like they just tried to hit that point where they could release it at the earliest possible point from the original release date. When it came to Halo, it's a whole freaking year. I don't remember any other game that has given a date. Like you can say 2022 and it's 2020 and then it gets moved back 2 months. That's one thing. But this is supposed to come out December of last year, and now they're saying holiday of this year.
yeah,
So that I really feel like they thought about it and they're like, okay, we can't find ourselves in the spotlight so much.
yeah,
So we need to give ourselves as much time as possible without being absolutely absurd, which you could argue a year is pretty absurd.
yeah,
But I'd rather them tell me it's delayed once than tell me it's delayed 3 times.
yeah. Because then they're at that point they're just fumbling. They don't know what the fuck they're
Yeah,
doing, and
and I
that's
think
just
they
characteristic
Mhm.
of sloppy work.
I really feel like they took that in consideration. They wanted to not get that bad publicity. They
Yeah.
didn't want it to be compared to Cyberpunk.
Hmm.
So I think that was that was smart of them to do that. And obviously, like when a game is released, it's finished a few like a month at least beforehand, because then they have
Hmm.
to distribute it all everywhere and make sure stores are stocked for it
Yeah,
for the release. So it's finished always a few weeks before the actual release.
yeah.
So I feel like they put a lot of that into consideration.
And there will still be a 50 gig day one patch.
Probably.
I
But go ahead.
I'm just at the point where if they delay it, fine. They at least are acknowledging that the game is not finished. They don't want to let down the fans, and they want to release a finished, polished product that their dedicated and devout fans are going to enjoy. And
Mhm.
so at this point, I don't care if it's delayed. I just want a finished product at launch. That's all I want. I don't want to
Yeah.
play 5 games and be like, this is so broken, I can't even have fun, and go back to Knockout City.
Yeah.
I just want a finished, playable, fun game. That's
Mhm.
is that too much to ask for when a studio is making a game? Is to just want a good, polished game that is ready to be played.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little tricky, especially when it's supposed to come out for the holiday season,
Mm,
when everybody's
yeah,
buying video games, everybody's buying the next console for
Ugh,
Christmas, everybody's
it's a lot of
like,
pressure.
it is. And even if they can get it out on like the 16th of December, like they'll hit the mark
Yeah.
because it's before all of those end of the year holidays.
That's when the publishers are like, well, do we want money or do we want trust?
Yeah, and a lot of people will choose money.
Yeah,
And
CD
I mean
Project Red.
like and like we're obviously we enjoy video games. We've
Yeah.
enjoyed video games basically our whole lives. How many more times can we get angry over this sort of thing? You know, like we're getting to the point where we're old enough to know things are gonna get delayed. It sucks. Everybody knows and they don't like it, and we all cry about it like, yes,
Yeah.
we nobody likes it. But if it means it's a good game, good game. It's worth the wait.
Yeah. I just is it too much to ask for to have a studio under promise and then over deliver? So imagine how much better it would be if Halo was like we're going to release it in 3 years. And then in 2 years they're like, "Psych, it's coming in 2 months." That would be so much better than it's coming next year. Oh, we're gonna delay it another year. Like I'd
Yeah.
rather they under promise and over deliver because there's no I don't know. I'm just frustrated with the
It's
whole thing.
I
I'm
mean
so
like
sick of this shit.
that's a big thing though. Like they need to appease stockholders. They need to keep people onto their brand. And so, we get stuff that's shown at E3 that isn't expected to come out for another 2 years. Like at that point, who cares? Like that's so far out. They spent so much time making the CGI trailer when they could have just not worked on the game and then showed real gameplay and then say, yeah, it'll be out in 6 months. Do you know how much more hype people like me are when they are news dropped about a new Metroid game and then realizing it comes out that same year and they showed gameplay?
That never happens.
That's a big deal. Listen to my voice.
It'll get delayed.
No. And then, like, for instance, like you'll see a game that was shown at E3, Redfall. Do you even remember that game?
Wasn't that with the vampires?
Yes,
Yeah.
coming out in 2023. Like,
All right, whatever. I'll forget about it until
I
2022.
yeah, like I get that you need to make buzz. We're really straying off topic right now.
Let's talk about the video game industry as a whole.
Yeah, we'll talk about how broken it is when we're in a third person perspective and have
Yeah.
never actually been a part of that industry and know nothing about it.
Yeah. I think
I'm
they
just
just the common theme I think with a lot of games is to just plant a seed. Just put it on someone's radar. Let them know, "Oh, there's this cool game coming out. Cool, I'll check it out. Oh, it's out in 2 years. Whatever. If there's more news, it'll come out. And if I want to follow it more Personally, I'll join the dev team's Discord or I'll follow the subreddit, whatever, and then they release another trailer and you're like, oh shit, I forgot about that. Oh, I'm so excited. Like that's like the melody that I want. That's the rhythm that I want when it comes to a game release. It's just, plant that seed, slowly build hype. Don't overpromise like some people and just kind of trickle things in. Like that's what Battlefield's doing. I think is really awesome. They showed a reveal trailer, then they showed gameplay. Now they have a short film coming out, and they showed the Portal. Like I think Battlefield's doing it right. Why can't everyone else do it right? I
Yeah.
know there's financial limitations and deadlines, but like that's just what I want.
But that's the other thing too. Like Battlefield actually had a game plan. Like
Yeah.
that was the strategy. They wanted to drip feed information that wasn't so far apart from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like so it was a very effective way to build up hype, and they had a lot of content to be released, but they held on to it for like maximum impact, if you ask me.
Yeah. And like I think their trailers have like the highest like to dislike ratio right now because it's just been so well received by the community. I haven't heard any criticisms other than the specialist thing, but I haven't heard any other criticisms from anyone on
Yeah.
Battlefield. So I think they're doing a really well job. Uh, this is a Halo episode. There's things that are passionate that we're passionate about. They just kind of surface when you're bubbling on all this shit. So.
Mhm. Yeah. But there's going to be another tech demo in the coming weeks. It's going to be bigger. It's going to have more stuff,
PvP, right?
I'm sure,
I hope
at that
so.
point. Like I think I mean they always have to like test servers. I think it's always smart if they have like a tech demo
Yeah.
that actually allows PvP,
Mm-hmm.
because that gives you an idea how many people want in, and if your service can support it, which at this point I would hope that they would understand because they've already released more than two Halo games,
Mm.
because they did Halo Wars 2, 4, 5, and some expansions with like Assault,
Yeah.
Spartans, whatever.
Spartan Assault. Yeah, we don't talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
But I think this is gonna be I think this Halo game is gonna be big.
Mm-hmm.
Like bigger than 5, bigger than, well, I don't know if it's gonna be bigger than 3 or like 2 for that matter. 2 is a fucking international phenomenon.
Yeah.
But like I think this is a crucial Halo game, I should say.
Yeah.
Um,
6 years.
it's a long time in the making. People are expecting great things, but I think this one in particular, given just the name in itself, I feel like we delved into this once already, but like Halo Infinite, this is not like a number. This is something that the naming convention means a lot, because if you name something Battlefield, like that tells me as a new player that has never touched the Battlefield franchise that this is the one I can jump onto. Like if I saw this was Halo 6 and I've never played Halo before, it's kind of hard for newcomers to hop on,
Yeah.
because they feel it there's a lot of like, well, what was the story? Do I need to play the previous ones to get this? Is it
Yeah.
important that I've, you know, done this, and that? Like Halo Infinite, this is what I believe is going to be a really good jumping on point and just a really solid entry in the franchise in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The name Halo Infinite definitely suggests that this is like bigger than 5, bigger than 4. Like they're trying to put more resources into it. And it's funny you mentioned campaign. I kind of forgot that there was a campaign. Like we're always dogging on multiplayer and BR, but I kind of forgot Master Chief's story. I don't even know. With after 3, I kind of fell off. I don't really know what's going on with the Covenant and the Brutes. I don't know what the fuck's going on. The Prophets. I don't know.
Yeah, so it has been a long time since I've played 4 and five's campaign, but at this point, from what I've heard, this campaign of Infinite is gonna take the character faction from Halo Wars and put it in here, the Banished, or like the new baddies of this game, the Brutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I was, from what I remember, how 5 ended, like Cortana was the bad person, and she like survived the death that most AI like deteriorate into over time.
Emptying the recycle bin, yeah.
Yeah, and and then like amassed an AI army, and that's how I remember it ending.
I
Like,
can't.
and then everything that I've
Uh,
seen like trailer wise is not this, so I'm really confused.
yeah.
But I will play the campaign once, probably with you. Maybe go for it on Legendary for
Oh, we
funsies.
will. We will. We got to
But
make a
I'm
video out
not.
of it.
Yeah, of course. But I'm not personally excited for the campaign.
Yeah.
I'll play it,
Yeah, I'll
but it's
play
all
it for
about
sure.
multiplayer.
But yeah, it's unfortunate because there's people that do love the campaign. They buy the books and they have all
Yeah.
the action figures in their room and they're just like, "Boo! I want a campaign. Can you please
Hmm.
hire some solid, decent writers, please?"
Yeah, and please don't misadvertise your commercials to the masses and think that Halo 5 is going to be way cooler than it really was.
Or that Halo 3 is gonna finish the fight. And now we're
Oh,
4 games later, still fighting God knows what. Sounds like we're gonna fight
burn.
Cortana this one. I don't fucking know.
Let me guess, there's going to be another Halo ring when we destroyed the last one 3 games
Oh
ago.
no. There's a new AI and it's what's Cortana backwards? Anatrock. Something like that. And you have to jump into the computer and like fight them on Tron land or something.
Yeah, get
I
on
don't
the
know
grid.
what they're gonna do. I don't read the books, so I don't know where we are lore wise.
Yeah,
But I'm sure it'll be a graphical masterpiece and have some pretty hollow writing, and we'll just jump on multiplayer afterwards.
yeah.
It is what it is.
Hmm. Speaking of the graphics, this didn't even like necessarily pertain to the overhaul, but looking at Master Chief from Halo 5 to Halo Infinite, there's like a huge contrast. And when 343 took over, they really tried to, I feel, ground like the space armor into being something a little bit more like real. Like, oh, this is like really beefy armor. This is bulletproof. This has cybernetic shields attached to it. And they kind of rolled with that idea. But now they're very much taking a step back and looking more like Halo 3's Master Chief.
Mm-hmm.
I almost felt like a part of the reason they did that was to alleviate some of the graphical strain because Halo 5 looked gorgeous.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it still holds up
best looking Halo
exceptionally well
game so
today.
far.
Yeah, easily, like down to just all the just everything.
Especially for like a 6, 7 year old game on my
Yeah.
Xbox, it runs so smooth. Like that and Gears of War. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know if it's. I think when you play like multiplayer Gears, the frame rate's much lower. But in campaign, like it is buttery smooth. It is the smoothest I've ever seen gameplay. And with Halo 5, especially the multiplayer, it's also super smooth. And so I'm sure Halo Infinite's going to be the same.
Yeah, but I don't know if you remember this, but when Halo 5 came out, there was no split screen campaign, there was no split screen multiplayer at all.
Oof.
And that was a big deal for a lot of people. Because Halo's always had it since the beginning.
Hmm.
And I feel like this is just me putting my tinfoil speculation cap on, but reducing the graphics and reverting it more back to Halos of past allowed it more space to incorporate that sort of thing.
Hmm.
I think I'm crazy by saying that, but they pumped so much effort into the look and keeping that look at a steady 60 frames per second. It takes up a lot of power.
Hmm.
And so I feel like kind of taking a step back and giving it more of the arcade Slayer feeling, which is what Halo's always been. Nobody's really going to argue that, and then we'll also get more features on top of it.
Hmm. The only other thing I could think of that I wanted to discuss briefly was the red outlines around enemy
Oh yeah,
AI.
the good one.
I thought that was very interesting, and we just talked about Gears. It's very reminiscent of Gears of War.
Hmm.
Enemy players will have this sort of reddish hue to them if they're in the distance, so you can kind of distinguish who's friendly and who's enemy. Um, I thought it was an interesting addition. I didn't think it was that needed, just because when you're playing Halo Online, and you're doing like Team Slayer, for example, it's already red versus blue, so it's kind of hard to mistake red for blue. But I guess for like free for all, you can. Oh, I mean, everyone's the enemy. What am I thinking? But the red outline I thought was an interesting addition. I didn't think it was necessary, but I guess we'll see where that goes.
So, do you know why they did that?
And I'm about to get schooled. Why?
It, it's so that you can customize your Spartan and keep the color.
Oh, okay.
So, if because like my
Huh.
Spartan in Halo 5 is white, you never see that
Right.
white color
Unless it's free for all.
unless it's free for all,
Gotcha.
or
Okay.
you take the time to look at my profile. But this way, you keep your color and you know if you're
Okay.
an enemy or not.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
but there are a lot of people that don't like that
Yeah.
because, oh, the red takes you out of the experience. Oh, it looks too weird at a distance.
Yeah.
You know, this, that, and the other. Normally, I wouldn't care about customization, but like, I really like customizing my Spartan.
Hmm.
So I'm totally for this idea. Um, we'll see how it goes. I imagine they're
Yeah.
going to take a lot of feedback
Hmm.
and try and incorporate it so that it feels a little bit more in line with what the fans want and also what is feasible with what 343 wants. So I think it's I think it's okay. I think we'll all be fine and we'll all still have a great Halo experience with it.
Promise.
No.
I was so ready to believe. I hope you're right, Christopher. I hope you're right about everything.
I hope the game is good.
Yeah,
I have
me
faith.
too. Yeah, we're back in that lingo where we haven't gotten a new AAA game since.
It's been a while.
Yeah, like I don't even want to talk about Battlefield 5. Overwatch, like I can't remember the last game I played. Or I paid, like I bought right at midnight. Like it's the flame is dwindling.
Yeah, I mean
Please 343.
last year was a big halter for that for
Yeah.
sure. But now things are kind of settling in and rebooting. But yeah, we've got some good stuff coming in the pipeline in the next few months, which we're really excited for.
Hmm.
So let's hope Halo is one of those.
Let's hope.
And I mean, worst case, if it sucks, it was freedom for multiplayer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no harm, no foul.
If it sucks, it's easier to make a decision on what games to play.
Mhm.
Battlefield 2042 or Knockout. I don't know. What else is
Mhm.
coming out? Nothing.
In terms of multiplayer,
Point
yeah,
proven. We're just in a weird lingo.
yeah,
We're in that summer where Portal 2 is coming out in August, and all we have is Dead Island. So let's give it a shot. Oh fuck, this game is awful.
man, that will live in infamy for us.
Yep. We're in video
Dark
game
times.
lingo. Yep.
Dark times. Those were our thoughts on Halo Infinite after the tech demo dropped. We are excited for more, but we'll see what happens. And wanted to thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. Watch some of our other videos. Feel free to comment down below. Let us know what you think. Tell us what we like, what we don't like. Control our lives. I don't know where I was going with that.
I like it though.
Yeah. We'll see you all for the next podcast.
Yeah. Be good people.
Be good people.
Peace.
Bye.